Let's jump right into things. And at 13, I have Josh Heupel, University of Tennessee. Again, let's go into these three categories, and I think basically he fails in these three categories. Now, listen, of course, Dabo Swinney still talks about how he was graded a D-plus higher, so Heupel 100% isn't worried about what I have to say or what anyone else has to say other than his bosses or the fans of Tennessee, and then that's a tough enough job already. But when you look at my criteria, this is the bottom coach in the SEC. In terms of the University of Tennessee, this is now basically their fourth straight hire where everyone was left scratching their head saying, this is who they got. Tennessee is a name brand. And to not hire a big name is a huge negative in this first criteria category. I mean, Josh Heupel, that is not a big-time name when you think about the University of Tennessee. When Tennessee fans are throwing out John Gruden and you get Josh Heupel, you fail in that first category. Second is fit. This is a tough area to evaluate because who can fit in at Tennessee at this time? It's the worst stretch in program history. They're waiting on possible probation or possible fines or possible some kind of punishment being levied by the NCAA or maybe the SEC. So they're kind of waiting on word for that. So nobody really fits this job right now. Because who could? And then third is the tape, and that's really when I want to dig in on this. Josh Heupel has limited experience in the SEC. Coached at Oklahoma. And to kind of give you a background on Josh Heupel, Josh was the quarterback, I believe I'm getting this right, was the quarterback for the University of Oklahoma in 2000 when they won their miraculous season-turning national championship against the Florida State Seminoles. Year two of Bob Stoops. Year before they had gone 7-5. They win a 13-2 national championship. I'm pretty sure I'm getting it right that he was the quarterback for that. So then he's coaching at Oklahoma. He's the co-offensive coordinator, and he gets fired after getting drubbed 40-6 by Clemson. He then, think about this, he goes from Oklahoma to Utah State. He's only there for 1 year, and then he gets hired by Missouri. He was the offense coordinator at Missouri for 2 years, and then he becomes the head coach at Central Florida, UCF. So that's a hell of a start in terms of looking at a resume heading into the SEC. Fired at Oklahoma, 1 year at Utah State, 2 years at Missouri, and then he goes to UCF. Let's talk about his time at UCF. The year before he got to UCF, they had gone 13-0. That was their declared national championship 13-0 2017 season, where they beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. So that 13-0 team, the year after, he's taken over a team that just went 13-0. And he has returning the American Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Year in quarterback Mackenzie Milton. So in 2018, he takes over a team that just went 13-0 and has the Conference Offensive Player of the Year at quarterback. Within 3 years, they are 6-4 in the AAC, the American Athletic Conference, tied for third in the conference in a year where they were picked to win it. And let's talk about some of the outcomes they had last season. The defense that season gave up 21, 28, 34, 50, 34, 21, 13, 36, 46, 49 points. Probably did that way too fast. 21, 28, 34, 50, 34, 21, 13, 36, 46, 49 points. The only team they held to under 20 points was 1-6 Temple. In their 10 games, they gave up 30-plus points per game in more games than they didn't. And the only team they held to under 20 points was 1-6 Temple. So, yes, the offense looks impressive. It's high-flying. But in terms of people trying to get me fired up about Josh Heupel at the University of Tennessee, when his track record is fired at Oklahoma, where he won the national championship as a quarterback, 1 year at Utah State, 2 years at Missouri, and then he goes to UCF and he goes from 13-0 declared national champions to 6-4 within 3 seasons. That's why I have Josh Heupel at the bottom of this list.